I'm Carmen, AKA Mama D.
And I'm Irisha, AKA Icy. And today on our show, Can We Talk Sports? We have attorney and agent Walter Musgrove III. He's an attorney and agent for companies here in the DFW. And today we plan to talk about the new NCAA rule that's talking about the name, image, and likeliness. And we want to see what his perspective is on it.
So what's your perspective? How do you feel about it?
I think that it's time that they get the opportunity to earn what they work hard for every day, been working for as kids, and I just believe that this is a good thing that the NCAA has finally decided to pass this law.
I agree. Those kids work hard every day.
Yes.
You know, practicing and studying and all of that. And sometimes those kids don't have money to go to the movie or put some gas in their car.
That's true.
So I think they should be compensated.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, not to mention some of them get injured, and if they have a season, a career-ending injury, they put all the money in the pockets of these other schools, and then they're left with figure it out.
Right.
Want to be successful? Make a choice. Keep wobbling. Keep wobbling. Over the next 3 or 4 years, or this will affect you for the rest of your life.
Well, today, you guys, we're so excited to welcome Walter Musgrove III, an accomplished attorney and sports agent in the Dallas area, and he enjoys working with youth sports.
Hello, how you doing today? We're doing good. So, how you been doing today, Walter?
Pretty good.
Okay, so we here today. We wanted to ask about, the new rule that's taking place with the NCAA, and get your perspective on it and how you feel about it, and any kind of information you want to share with our audiences and let them know things that maybe some of us don't know. It's new, so we need some education.
Sure, absolutely.
So how do you feel about it first? Like, how's it going to affect you? Because it's going to have a direct impact on what you do.
Yes, absolutely. So as an NFL agent and as an attorney, the rule does allow for access to the student athletes in the capacity in which we would generally have to wait until they actually declared for the NFL or became eligible to be NFL or professional athletes, be it NFL or NBA.
To get compensated.
Correct.
Right.
So we're now able to speak with them in terms of representation in the capacity of a lawyer or as a marketing agent to secure some of those endorsement opportunities.
So when is it too early for those kids? Like you have your high school guys, you may have a sophomore, junior, and a senior. When they're in their sophomore, junior year, is it necessary for them to even be worried about that then, or going to their senior year preparing for that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So it's important that we understand there's a difference between the NCAA rule and each state's own laws.
Got you. Okay.
So the NCAA rule, while it may appear to allow student athletes or prospective student athletes, meaning high school students, to participate, in particular, the state of Texas does not allow for high school students to participate and to profit off their name, image, and likeness.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's a very important.
The other states are allowing that, but Texas in particular is like, it's against some of their stimulations that they have where they can profit?
Yes. Well, again, I can't speak for all 50 states, but I can speak obviously specifically for Texas. Okay. Texas law does not allow for student athletes, and it calls it prospective student athletes, meaning students who are not currently enrolled in college to participate. So they could lose their eligibility, jeopardize their amateur status. So it's important that, a lot of the high school kids, particularly obviously in Texas, understand that they're not allowed to participate.
Okay.
But Texas colleges can participate.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So with that said, since we're on the topic of it, what about the college athletes that are already currently enrolled, whether they're freshman, sophomore, and on up? What is some advice that you could give that you may even see already that I notice a lot of kids are already taking sponsorships and stuff? How do they know when it's worth it, or when to do it and when not to?
Yeah, well, I think the best advice I can give to any prospective student or current student athlete is to seek representation before you enter into any agreement. Okay. It's no different than any other legally binding contract. I have to tell anybody, hey, seek legal counsel. And then the second thing would be to understand that whatever you sign now, whatever contracts you enter into now, could later affect you if you do become a professional athlete.
Right.
Yeah. So for instance, if you sign a exclusive deal with a sports apparel company that may be someplace back home, or some smaller company, and then now you actually do become a professional athlete, well, that could preclude you from entering into a deal with Nike or Adidas or Under Armour.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Later.
Okay.
Later.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
interesting.
That is. So outside of that, what about, what is it as an agent? I know all agents don't accept, just because somebody's going to be a professional athlete, it doesn't mean you're going to say, okay, I'll be your agent if they asked. What is it that would make you say, no, I won't be able to represent you? Or what do you look for in an athlete to represent them?
Well, naturally, you look for athletes that have the skills and the experience, if you will, the stats, if you will, that show that they will absolutely be a professional athlete. As I tell players all the time, as well as parents, it's not about what you think about your game or what I think about your game or what your mama think about your game.
Yeah.
It's
Especially not mama.
Correct. It's what the teams think about your game.
Right.
So with that, as I evaluate talent, as I evaluate prospective clients, I'm always looking to see if they have the traits that are sought after by professional sports, and be it NBA or NFL.
So, do you have any questions for him as well?
Yeah, because I want to ask about that. What kind of traits, what's a good fit for you? Like, what are you looking for in a kid?
Yeah, so generally what I look for in a kid is I always tell people, I look for the person. I'm really evaluating the character of a particular prospective client. And the reason that is, regardless of how talented he may be, at the end of the day, although I represent him as his agent, he also represents my company as well.
Right.
So that's very important. The second thing I look for, just as it relates to that particular player in my business, obviously being based here in Dallas, graduated from Duncanville, it's important. I like to represent players that are from the area, in particular DeSoto, Cedar Hill, this southern sector of Dallas. And that's just because naturally I can relate and understand a lot of things they're going through and what may lie beyond just what goes on the field. And then the third thing is just naturally like the measurables, the height, weight, speed that are comparable to those that are in the NFL or in the NBA. While there are some players who will make it professionally that don't have the prototypical size, speed, weight, generally speaking, there's still a formula. There's still a set parameters for height, weight, and speed that NBA and NFL teams look for as they consider players to be professionals.
That's good.
Yeah. So yeah, lastly, we do have a thing that we have not done that we forgot to do when you came here. We do this thing called Would You Rather.
Okay.
So my question to you is going to be, would you rather be Spider-Man or Batman?
I'd rather be Spider-Man.
I need elaboration.
Well, that's a good question. Well, first of all, and this is gonna sound terrible, but the first thing I thought about is I've never seen Spider-Man with a woman. I mean, Batman with a woman. Spider-Man.
Right?
I mean, Spider-Man at least has a social life.
That's horrible. That's your final answer.
That's my final
I mean, this is your final. Y'all have it, people.
He need a woman.
He need a woman. Walter Musgrove is going to be Spider-Man only because, yeah. Okay, what's your question? She has a would you rather question as well.
I do. Would you rather, what would be your superhero? Would you prefer to be invisible or to fly?
Oh.
Because Batman flew. But
Yeah. That's a good question.
I'm offended about Batman, Spider-Man.
I'd probably rather I'd rather be invisible. Yeah, because it's interesting with what I do for a living.
No high fives. But if you was Batman, you would have been able to fly and all of that in one. So that's what I'm saying. I thought you should have chose Batman. Okay, we're going to close it on that note. Okay, everybody, we just have interviewed one of Dallas's attorneys, agents, and he represents the DFW area. You heard the information he's given. Walter, if you would like to give any of your information to be contacted or whatever, this is your guy. He seems like he's done his research. And if you want to give your information, go ahead.
Yeah, you can reach out to me on social media, Musgrove Agency. It's on Instagram as well as Twitter, and then my website is musgroveagency.com.
Okay.
I have one more question now that you mentioned your information. Do you only do football players or you do other sports?
Yes, ma'am. I am actually licensed in the NFL as well as by the NBA, and I also represent professional boxers as well.
Oh, wow.
Perfect. Good. So you guys, reach out to him.
All right. Thank you for coming on the show with us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it.
Thank you for having me.
Baby, let me tell you. What? God, no. If I told him once, I done told him twice. Hey y'all, it's Big Mama. It's a new week, new season, new things going on. But parents, I just wanted to talk to you. So much has been going on with mental health issues. I know last season we talked a lot about it. This season, I'm sure we're coming back with a lot more of it. We saw with Naomi Osaka, the big tennis player, how she just had to take a break. She just had to step back because mental issues are real. So often, growing up, you hear, oh, them down the street, they crazy. Oh, them right there, they crazy. Mental health is real. And so I want you to make sure that you recognize these things that are going on with your children or even with yourself, and understand that it's okay to take a break. We just saw Simone Biles, the greatest gymnast here we have now. She had to take a break. Things going on with her that she wasn't comfortable with. And sometimes you have to realize that the issue is bigger than you. Think about your teammates. Let your children know that it's just not them, their team. She wanted to stop so that her team could possibly get a goal. She didn't want to jeopardize that. But Big Mama just want to talk to you a minute and help you understand that mental health is real. And it's okay to get help, to seek out whatever is needed. And always remember, self-care is essential. I know you taking them children back and forth to this practice, to this game, to that and the other, but you have to take some time for you, because if you don't take care of self, you're not going to be any good to any of them. So just want to leave a little nugget with you this week. To thine own self, be true.
Thank you for watching Can We Talk Sports. I'm Carmen, aka Mama D.
And I'm Irisha, aka Icy. And we hope you guys tune in to our next segment.
Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.